All right, so we are going to do a video for Project Economy Slides. And I'm going to do it from the very beginning so we know exactly where to go. So we're going to open the browser. Ooh, that was special. And then we're going to go to Canvas. So johnston.instructure.com. And then, of course, you're going to log in. Then you're going to go to My Class. And I'm going to go into Student View. So I have it looking like yours. Maybe. All right. So I'm going to scroll down and it is going to be, oh, another thing you can, if there's too much here, you can go ahead and click these arrows and it will just suck up all this stuff underneath here. And then you can scroll a little bit less. All right. So under economics, you're going to scroll until you get to projects. And then you're going to click on that. Now, it says you will be completing a Google Slides that has been started on economy. The instructions are on each slide, but there is also an instructional video, and that is what I am making right now. But it will be linked here. Go to this Google slide, click File, make a copy, and rename it so it will let you edit. Once complete, upload the same way you did on Project Government, except you won't have to take a screenshot. And the upload instructions are there. So, but today we're going to do just the actual slide. So we're going to open this. And now, as a student, I would have to click on File. I would click on Make a Copy and Entire Presentation. So here, I will change the copy of to my name. This helps me find it later when it is in my list of documents in Canvas. Click OK. And now this is going to be my document. Now I'm not going to give you the answers to everything. You're going to have to come up with some of your own stuff, but I'm going to show you what you need to do so that you can do it. All right, so here were the instructions for the first part. So I'm going to click in here. Why do we need money? And type one thing in each box, 10 things total, and I'm going to give you one for free, rent, that you need money for. So you're just going to click in the box. And let's say cell phone, internet, groceries, and I'm just going to put one more. I'll put one more that's a little bit maybe more fun, and put video / computer games. So you will fill out the rest of this. And if you feel like it, if you want to go back, this is totally optional. You can go in here and play with some of the font if you want to change it up and, you know, kind of make it a little bit more interesting. Maybe even if you want to change the color, things like that you can do. So in here, you're just filling in these boxes. Make sure they're all filled in. So that is slide 2. Now we're on this one. All right, who controls prices? Put the text at the bottom of this slide across the economy it goes with. Change the font to make it more interesting by, change the font to make it more interesting by changing the font style, size, and color. So for Command Economy, government, and you can see how it's lining things up, right? Now, so actually, I'm gonna click on the box. And so now I want to make it kind of as big as this. So I'm just gonna click until I get it. Another way you could kind of get it that size is if I click on this and I see it's at 48, then I can click on this guy and, you know, type in like 48, or I can, so let's see how big that is. That's pretty big. I don't know if I want it that big. I think I'm gonna go with a little bit. 36? Maybe. But then again, I know this one's really long, so I don't want to be too... Let's do 24. And then I'm like, okay, now it wants me to do the font style, so that's in here. So if you wanted to do the same font as this, you can click in it and see what it was. You can also change these if you wanted to. So if you wanted to look the same and you don't have this as an option, and but you want it to be like the same font, then you know, can. So then I'm going to change the color. I think it might have been this one. If you're looking to get close to this, all you got to do is click in it, and then if you click in here, and it'll tell you what it is. So if you are one of the, like, if you want it to look the same, then that's one way to do it. If you want it, you can also make it look different. Let's say, well, that didn't work. Ugh. Maybe I highlight it in red. Click outside of it. All right, there we go. I could do something like this. This one I am going to give you the answers to. The next one is, so if I'm there, you can see how that line goes across. And I might change some of this later. Hang on. And this is New Rocker. So I am going. Yeah. And then maybe I'll do the same thing. I'll do something different on the inside. So let's say I do red on the inside and highlight it with blue. Maybe. What color was it? This one? Let me see which one this was. Yeah. Oh, that looks a little dark. Might change this red to be a little brighter. So you can fiddle with this to make it different. You can also, if you wanted to, not do that. And you could just do it exactly the same, or you can do it completely different. It can be a completely different look. I just don't want everything to be black and boring and tiny. You do have to do something. Hang on, so what's with this one? This one's Berkshire something. Squash. That's good. Okay. I'd say let's make it a little bit smaller than 30. We'll do that. That's fine. This one was a dark purple. Is this one? I think so. So I did that. If you wanted, a lot of times for the font, a lot of these I got by adding them. So if you're looking through and you're like, oh, this is boring, and how did Miss Mulliken get all these fancy ones in here? Well, what I did was I clicked on more fonts, and then I went through here, and I think a lot of the ones that are more, let's say, fancy, right, are the display ones. So if you click on display, And all you have to do, and I've got them over here, but you can, if you just click on it, it adds it. So let's say if I want to add, let's find one. Let's say I want to add this pixelated one. I just click on it and now it's added to my list. And I just click OK, and now it's in there. So now it did that to this, so I'm just going to hit undo. Anytime you do something crazy, just click undo. All right. And now this slide's done. All right. So for over here, we're going to copy the words from the word box and paste them under the correct column. There are 5 for each type. All right. So me looking at this and I'm like, oh, how in the world am I going to figure this out? Well, we see market and command. So I'm going to go back to here. And I am going to, I can do a couple things. What I would suggest is probably the economy notes. Now, you should have turned this in so you'll have the answers, but I'm just going to kind of go in here right quick. So you'll have had the answers, but you should be able to go to, like, let's say, you know, capital. Well, let's go to the economic stuff. So in here, you should have some of these answers. So, but I do see government control, central planning, this one, it'll be supply and demand that's in there, free market. So you should have this. Or the other thing you can do is go into some of these other chapters. So I could go into like market economy, and in here I can see, you know, I can find some of these. I think a lot of them, honestly, if I go. So you can find things in here. You just have to look for them. All right, so let's pick a couple things. So I'm going to take capitalist, and I do suggest you cut them out. So that way you know what you've used. And then I can put it, Christ, okay. Right there. I put Control V to put it in there. And we saw supply and demand. Hopefully you saw that. That one in there. And so if this is capitalist, then this has to be communist. Supply, so this is the control. This is definitely government. And if you see something's out of line. So that's all it is. And then at the very end, you can click on the outside of this and delete it. But I would do that so you don't repeat some of these. This one is graded on accuracy. All right. So you'll do the rest. This one is a little bit more interesting. All right. Most free market. Use following link, Index of Economic Freedom. Use the 2020 top index of economic freedom chart on the right-hand side. Move the box of the country beneath its score on the spectrum. So this is the spectrum that makes it look like, so this is the most free market. This is the most command. So I'm going to click on that guy. Like that. And then I'm going to click on that. And here's what it's talking about. 2020 top index economic freedom. And all we got to do is go in here and see. So we got 89.4. So I'm going to go into here. So 89.4 is Singapore. So I'm going to move Singapore right here. I'm going to take this guy and I'm going to move it under there. And so you can see Singapore's right there. I'm going to go in 76.6. I'm going to go over here. And I'm going to go to here 76.6. That's the United States. So I'm going to put that under there. And you can see how that red line pops up, so it makes it centered underneath. And then I'll do that for the rest of these as well. All right. And so that's 4 more. Very simple. This one might seem difficult at first because you have to open extra, but it's not too bad. All right. And then we've got our next one, our final slide, which is a picture says 1,000 words. Click insert image, search the web, and find an image to go with each type of government. Once you click image, click insert, and then resize. So I went ahead and did mixed market for you. So you can change this if you want to change it. So this is kind of like, all right, we're helping you. This is a little bit of help going up, but not completely doing it alone, but not also, more than one helping. All right, so let's see. Free market economy. So we're going to click insert, image, search the web. And then in here, I'm going to just type in what it is. So free market economy. And I wanna, a graph might not be bad. This is multiple. I don't really want that. This is, I think, it's okay. I like this one because it has that $sign in there. Let's see what else we got. Just money in general is a good one for this. Oh, this is like the stock market. So that's really big. You could even go with that. Hang on, let me make sure it doesn't. If you deselect it, you need to make sure if you click on it, you deselect it, or it's going to put all of those in there. I think I'm going to go with I think this is supply and demand curve. Let's see. Well, let's insert that. Yeah, it is. All right. So I'm going to drag this guy over here. And again, I'm kind of looking for these. I like how right there matches up with the picture, and then there. So I'll put it right there. Kind of going the extra mile on this is adding a border. So if you click on this and you go up here and you just maybe click on 2, it adds a little border there. And so that's your picture. You do want to be careful that it makes sense. Sometimes when it brings in pictures, it doesn't represent the economy. So you do have to be careful. I thought mixed market might be a little difficult. That's why I put that in there. So you'd have to do a command economy picture. And basically, once you've done all that, you're done and you're ready to upload. So just make sure you go back into Canvas, use some of the stuff that you need to get some of these done. And if you do that, you should be good to go. If you have any questions, make sure you ask me. I can help you figure out what goes where. Better to ask a question and me help you than you get it wrong and get points deducted. That's going to be the big one. You need to be accurate with some of these. You can't just put them wherever. There are answers to these. These do go specifically under certain things, so you need to make sure you do get this right. There are some that are more opinion, like this one. At the same time, you're not going to put stuff you've got for free. This one is probably the most opinion one that you got to put in. So yeah, if you want to jazz this up any other way, if you want to change arrows, if you want to if you're putting in a background image, be careful. I need to still actually be able to see this stuff. I wouldn't go too overboard until you've got all of these filled in, and that's when you can add a little bit of extra if you want to. All right, so that is pretty much it for this project.